All right, team, ladies, gentlemen, otherwise everyone. I want to talk for a minute about expectations. Right? Probably, most likely, we always will have expectations. We'll always be facing them. Expectations of ourselves, others' expectations of us. I don't care who you have to do what for. Whatever it is, do not let your success or failure in that task, that expectation, define your state of being. How you feel about yourself. How you feel about your day, your opportunity. How you perceive reality. What paradigm are you living in? Are you living right here? Because there's this gap between where you're at and you meeting the expectations? Or does this expectation exist and you're up here and you're going along and you meet the expectation and that's great, or you don't and that's great? Either way, you're doing your dance. You get to pick and choose how you respond to all of this, to everything, day in, day out. When you wake up in the morning, you get to say, this is the outlook I want to have today. This is the outlook I'm investing myself in. This is how I'm leaning in. Now, if you don't consciously consider this and you take things as they come, you subject yourself to the wisps and winds of externalities, things beyond what's within your frame to control. And we can't control the world, and we'll live in a bubble if we try to filter everything that comes at us. As in, the stimulus isn't even hitting us. I'm not saying live in a bubble. I'm not saying filter everything out, as in avoid it. What I'm saying is, regardless of what comes at me, I'm saying, I acknowledge you. Good work, or whatever. Getting to me. But I'm not letting you in here. As in, into my thoughts. Into my patterns. Into the blueprint of how my day is going to be. Into the blueprint of how my life is unfolding. I'm not letting you into my heart to affect my emotional state. My degree of epic or love or compassion, peace. Unless I want to. If you vibe with me, whatever is coming at me, I'm like, okay. Or if I recognize, yeah, I can learn from this, let me take this in. Then I can begin to internalize it. But only from a state of, I see something in here that I celebrate. Or I see something in here by taking it in, I know I'm growing in life. And I celebrate that process. What do you want to celebrate? And how do you define your reality around that? So you're interpreting. It's about interpretation and response. How do you define your paradigm so that you are interpreting the day in, day out shenanigans, operations, whatever, as something kind of miraculous? Because the truth is, depending on our paradigm, we can adopt one such that we come to see the miraculous reality of ordinary life. Whatever comes at you, doesn't matter who your taskmaster is, how driving they are. I mean, look at the history of slaves, right? Like, talk about taskmaster. Day in, day out. Task after task after task after task. Tasks unto death. And yet, we have seen some of the most thriving, spiritually vibrant, compassionate communities of people come out of slavery. Like, can you believe how loving the black community is? How compassionate and familial they are. Like, there's something in African American heritage that, okay, maybe came from Africa. This tribal kind of methodology, approach to life of, let's support each other actively as community. It's taking us a minute to get this into our Western heads. But also, the time generations spent in slavery, consider what that would do. And how you would come to see, well, wow, regardless of what I have to be subject to in terms of externalities, other people's expectations, and how I gotta perform, whatever. Is it really worth letting that get to me on the inside? Like, I am the author of my paradigm and of what I exude, what I put out, how I conduct my life in response to what I'm given. End of story.